And in this game, players are playing as students in an enchanted library. Players are all going to be trying to sneak around the library, trying to collect the tome cubes of their color, which they can then use to upgrade their characters. But then they're also trying not to get caught by the tome keeper, while simultaneously trying to get the other players caught, because anytime that you get another player caught by the tome keeper, that's going to be earning you a victory point for the end of the game. And this is a game that's going to be playing over 2 rounds, and each player is going to be playing as their own asymmetrical factions, controlling multiple units out on the main board. Each player is going to have access to the same set of actions, but these actions are going to be working a little bit differently depending on the faction that you are. And then each player is also going to have a special ability with their faction. Each faction will also have a more powerful second ability, but that only gets activated once you've reached the second round. Players are going to be drawing a card and then setting up the main board according to that card. This is going to dictate where the tome keeper is going to be starting out on the board, as well as 3 different locations where that tome keeper is going to be moving to, but it also dictates all the other object locations as well, like where your tomes are going to be located, as well as the different library shelves, which can be moving around because, of course, this is an enchanted library. And on a player's turn, they're going to be trying to spend all their action points in order to do a few different things. The first thing is that you want to collect your tome cube so that you can upgrade your character for your following turns. Then you're also trying to manipulate the board in various ways, moving around the shelves or the tome keeper or even the other players in order to try and create an environment where the other players get caught instead of yourself. Players are going to have a number of dice located on their own personal player board, and the number on that die indicates how many actions you have to perform of that specific action row, and the number is always set to the location where that die starts. But the nice thing about getting the tomes is that you can actually place them on the left-hand side of the dice, pushing out the dice that you have there and pushing those numbers up, meaning that you do get more action points for that specific row. And some of the different actions that you can perform could allow you to do things like move the shelves around, swap places with other players, or even push or pull the other characters in different directions. Once you've performed all the actions that you can on your turn, or all the actions that you want to perform on your turn, it moves on to the following player. But before that happens, the tome keeper is going to get activated. When that happens, you're going to be looking at the next location that the tome keeper is trying to move to, and then the tome keeper is going to get a certain amount of movement points in order to move towards that location. The objects and the shelves in the tome keeper's way can manipulate the path that the tome keeper is going to be taking, so hopefully you're able to manipulate all of that so that the tome keeper does end up on the same space as another player, and if that ever happens as the tome keeper moves, that player is going to get booted off the board. They can come back on later, but then you're also going to be gaining a victory point for that. Players continue taking turns just like this until the tome keeper reaches that 3rd spot. Then that's going to be triggering the end of the first round, and at that point you're going to be flipping that setup card over to the other side and then resetting the board according to the new parameters. And they're going to be playing the game exactly the same, except now each player is going to have their more powerful special abilities available to them. The game continues like this until the end of the second round, and then the player with the most victory points at the end of the game wins the game. And if you are interested in this one, you can check it out. I have links in the description below.